The Porchcast with Brandon and Christian. Brandon and Christian. The Porchcast with Brandon and Christian.
Welcome back to the Porchcast. It's a Porchcast. It's a podcast. It's also on the porch. That's why we call it the Porchcast. Christian, how you doing over there?
Pretty good.
How you feeling with your tea?
It's very hot.
What kind of flavor is it?
Chai.
Do you think that who's like hipper right now? Because I'm drinking a kombucha. You're drinking a tea.
Probably you. I feel like kombucha is way more hip than tea.
All right, I'm the hippest guy. I'm the hippest guy here. Thank you to Tiki Torches for the wonderful sponsorship, especially lately. I feel like, I don't know, really delivering on that sponsorship. So thank you to them. Really loving the intro song quite a bit. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure we gave out a shout out, right?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to our friend Justin Gregorio for producing the intro. If you need any music recorded or a jingle for your podcast, then reach out to him on Instagram at VantaBlack, VNTABLCK, and that is his Instagram.
Perfect.
That was an actual ad.
That was an actual ad. And that's just, you can't understate how fantastic of exposure that is. Just to be, mentioned on the Porchcast, right? It's really become its own thing.
Yeah, what an honor.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that we're making careers out here, but we're definitely doing our part, right?
Oh yeah, we're
contributing.
Yeah, a couple of philanthropists out here.
I would say that too. I mean, we don't give money. I mean, we give money to others. Like, we give money to the grocery store. We give
in exchange for goods and services.
Services. Yeah, I mean,
the list goes on, really.
Well, because somebody has to like oversee the operation, so there's probably some overhead that we have to, that kind of like passes through to us, right? Like, we don't just pay costs, so you got to pay for all of that. I mean, groceries can get expensive, especially when you start thinking about those onesie twosies, like the dryer sheets and dish detergent. What do you think is like your least favorite thing that you have to get at the store?
Contact solution, because it's so expensive.
How much is a bottle of those guys?
It's like $11.
11 clams.
Yeah. And it never lasts as long as you think it will.
How long do you think that one bottle will last you?
Probably like 10 weeks.
10 weeks?
Something like that.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's like another subscription,
Yeah, I definitely get that. There's a lot of subscriptions out there, and they keep making them more, and they're making all these new subscription services. So they have the new Disney Plus coming out. Have you heard about this at all?
Not really.
So they announced one. They announced one show. I believe it's a show. It's a Disney Plus original. It's a Star Wars show. So they have that coming. They probably are going to bring all the Marvel content over. You would think everything that they can.
Do you think it's good to have a lot of competition as far as streaming services?
I don't, because what's going to happen at the end of the day is that there's going to be 20 different streaming services to buy, and they're just going to aggregate them together and be like, you can get this service, this service, this service, and this service for $100 a month. And it's like, okay, what does that sound like? It sounds like cable.
You think so?
Yeah.
Or is that like the worst case scenario, you think?
No, I believe that that's what's going to happen. I fully believe that that's what's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Well, it's a matter of what people will do, too. If people aren't willing to pay that, then money talks,
People have been willing to pay anything lately.
You think so?
Seems like it. For things like that, people aren't as used to fitting them into their budgets. So it's just something that is just like an incremental cost now that's taxed on to everybody.
It's like cable. It's just different.
It's like cable. It's just different. Yeah, exactly. Which is scary. I think that the whole net neutrality thing, I think would have a similar model if it sticks around, which it's currently doing a good job.
I remember that's what people claimed was going to happen when net neutrality was passed, or whatever they did, or repealed it, I guess is what you would say.
Something like that, yeah.
Is that the internet providers would start taxing you on all this crazy stuff. That's what they claimed was going to happen, which I guess now they have the ability to do, but it definitely wasn't the apocalyptic scenario that I was led to believe.
Well, I think it's still a battle. I think they're still battling it out.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Ajit Pai runs the body that's in charge. I don't know exactly who it is. I should definitely know. But he runs the government body that basically oversees...
The FCC? Is that what you're trying to...
I was thinking it was the FCC, but I wasn't sure. Is it the FCC?
I think so.
Interesting. They're the same people that don't let you say fuck on the television.
Yeah. I think they do a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, they must. What do you think of, like... It gets talked about a lot, but, like, America's allowance of, like, violence versus curse words and nudity.
It's very strange, and I don't really understand it. I'm sure there's some kind of something you could point to. Is it kind of Puritan values where we kind of accept violence in the biblical context, but cursing and nudity, I guess, is seen as more controversial.
Yeah, and I guess come to think of it, maybe it's not as accepted for the person you're rooting for to do violence. It's pretty accepted, though, for the person you're rooting for to get violenced against. And to be like, we have to, like, live through these struggles.
What are you talking about?
So in a show like Breaking Bad, obviously there's cursing, there's some nudity, so there's all of it, but people aren't as willing to accept violence of the protagonist than the antagonist. People are more willing to accept the people that we watch getting hurt and like having people be violent against them than the other way around, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So that's part of it, too, is it's this suffering thing. Suffering's okay as it pertains to violence. So as you're saying, in the Bible, there's plenty of suffer. There's plenty of violent suffer.
Yeah, maybe that's why it makes us so uncomfortable, because movies like Saw or Hostel or something where it's people that you think are not deserving it. Of course, those movies are much more graphic than something like Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad had its graphic moments, though.
Well, it's the other way around. It's Breaking Bad used violence as a tool for its story. In Saw and Hostel, the violence was the story. That was all. That was what the movie was. That's what I mean.
Not really. I mean, part of it, but I would disagree.
I would say it's more its format. Maybe it's a format thing, in that the violence is the centerpiece, especially of Saw and the later Saw movies. The violence and the goriness is the centerpiece of the movie.
I think Hostel is different, though. I don't know how much you remember that movie, but at least the original one, it's really not. As far as if you're looking at the actual content of the movie, most of it is not the torture stuff. Most of it is the setup to that, so that it's much more shocking when you actually see it.
That's true. I'm probably thinking more of the later Hostel movies, because the later Hostel movies were just gore porn.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I don't really even I'm not even crazy about violence in movies all that much. I'd much rather cursing in movies. I think cursing can be funny and it's more authentic than saying, "Oh, this is no dang good for me."
Yeah, I think the rating of a movie doesn't really matter that much. At least I don't think that cursing or violence is going to necessarily make a movie better or worse, but I don't know. If it's a movie that I think depends more on the violence, then
I guess I just don't want a movie to be held back by it. Does that make sense?
yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. Is if it could be improved, if it's adding value to the movie, then yeah.
Yeah, and like PG-13 is unnecessarily restrictive. Like it's just like you can only say the F word twice, or once. You know, some do it twice. I don't really know what the exact rule on that is, but something like that. There's some rule in PG-13 movies. I thought the rule was that you could only say the F word one time during the entire movie, but I've seen PG-13 movies that have said it up to twice. I've never heard 3 times in a PG-13 movie. So there's
Like
some
which
rule.
one?
Has 2?
Yeah.
I believe the Social Network has 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so. And there's others, for sure. But the Social Network is one that comes to mind that definitely has 2.
That's funny though that we try to like protect people from curse words, or I guess violence makes sense.
Well, nudity too. Nudity is another one that doesn't necessarily make sense 'cause it's pretty natural. And only like some, if you look at like old cultures, only some of them cover themselves, like Native American cultures, and then even older if you look in like history books. And then obviously like in African countries, they don't have as much of a focus on covering themselves up. It's interesting how different cultures have different perspectives on like what's allowable nudity and appropriate nudity.
Yeah, it's very restrictive in this country, I think.
Oh yeah, we hate it. We definitely hate it.
And for good reason, you know?
But compared to like some of the Middle Eastern countries, especially as it relates to women, we're pretty lenient.
Yeah, it's relative, you know? Cultural relativism.
Is that a real thing? Is that a real term?
Yeah, as it relates to the subject of morality, you know, things are considered moral here that are not there. For, you know, for instance, the hijab thing, or whatever, however you say it.
Right.
That would be, you know, a subject of moral relativism, because something like that seems outrageous to us here, but that's their culture. So, and I think that, well, it is absolutely the case that just the concept of moral relativity is inherently just one giant fallacy.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if you want to know something is truly moral or not, if I do something here and it's considered moral, and then I go do it and I just go travel across some imaginary border, and then suddenly it's immoral, that's doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it?
But okay, so yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense, obviously, because morality is it should be an objective thing, like morality.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's not.
If it is, then yeah, then that would not be the case.
Well, one of them, somebody's right in theory.
I think so. Yeah.
And so it could be that I don't know though, because then you're just thinking like the most lenient is the most moral.
Not necessarily. I think about utilitarianism, where one person's interests can or cannot outweigh another person's interests, where I think someone's interest in expressing themselves outweighs someone else's interest in oppressing that person. I feel that very strongly, you know?
So give me an example of that.
Well, I mean, it's the hijab thing.
Right.
Someone's preference in dressing how they want to dress outweighs someone else's interest in controlling them and telling them what they can and cannot do.
Okay, but okay, so let's think about America then. Because America's probably, middle of the line as it comes to, like, a moral country, maybe?
It depends.
It depends what you're relating to. I mean,
if it's on the subject of our law, then I think we're mostly on the right track. But even then, I think certain things, like if you wanted to look at drug laws from a moral perspective, that is another obvious fallacy, because if you want to look at the legality of drugs as a matter of what's right and what's wrong, any argument that would be in favor of having drugs remain illegal would also have to be consistent with alcohol being illegal. So if you say that you think alcohol should also be illegal, then I think that you're consistent in that reasoning. But if you think that alcohol should be legal, but something like marijuana, for instance, should be illegal, then you are very inconsistent in your logic, in my opinion.
So what do you think, kind of changing gears a little bit, because I think you just brought this up, and I think it's interesting. What do you think created the dynamic of America embracing certain drugs, alcohol and caffeine, and absolutely hating other drugs, meth and heroin? Like, what initially created that barometer as it relates to drug tolerance?
Well, alcohol has just been a part of human culture for so much longer, and just the connotations are so much stronger, because something like wine has religious connotations as it relates to
religious and royal.
Yeah, and there's just not that connotation with other drugs, and I think that drinking something is a much more innocuous and also agreeable method of taking something, because you have to drink water at the very least anyway, so it's not as unnatural as opposed to sniffing something or injecting something, because those are two things that you would never really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true, and those are the two beverages, caffeine and alcohol.
Yeah, but then tobacco has been a part of culture for
sure,
much longer.
Tobacco for sure. We're better. Like it starts with drinking. We're the most okay with drinking things, and then because people still don't like cigarettes compared to alcohol. So definitely people embrace drinking the most. You're allowed to do that. With then smoking, starting with cigarettes obviously, and then moving into weed, and then with like pills and needles, and definitely ingesting things through your nose. People really, really don't like that. The United States really doesn't like that. I mean, the United States still doesn't like pot, but
I don't know. I would say most people are in agreement with it now being legalized.
I don't know.
And by that, I mean more than half. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Maybe more than half. I mean, and a large part of the reason for it not being legal is the government. Obviously the alcohol and tobacco lobbyists are going to be super strong. Those are big corporations. A lot of money there. So much money to pay for lobbyists to convince, quote unquote, politicians to keep restricting marijuana from becoming legal for as long as possible.
Yeah, and they spend so much money on propaganda as well. And I'm not just saying that as a conspiracy standpoint. I'm saying, messages that are just put out to make you think a certain way,
Oh yeah.
And a lot of it is total lies. So, and I think that's very effective on influencing people.
Yeah, I don't know though, because you watch these tobacco commercials, right?
Yeah,
they're crazy.
Yeah, I would call that propaganda as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think tobacco is really dangerous, but if you think that the extreme ways that they portray it are accurate for most people, then I think you'd be wrong.
Yeah, no, there's some pretty messed up commercials that the anti-tobacco lobby managed to put out there.
Yeah, I think most people's experience with tobacco is not as horrific as those companies would want you to believe. But I know some people's would be, of course. But
yeah.
So
we're actually celebrating a little holiday today. Well, technically yesterday. Kind of like a little bit of... little mixture of both.
There's some wiggle room.
There's some definite wiggle room. It was kind of yesterday, kind of today, but we've been in Denver for a year. Officially, 1 full year. Technically, we're in Parker. But
Close enough.
Close enough to Denver for a year. And definitely 365 days have passed.
Do you feel older?
I definitely feel older. That's probably the thing I feel the most. Taller. Leaner.
You think so?
Probably. Than when I got here.
I feel about the same.
Yeah.
Weight,
Everywhere?
weight-wise. No, I feel it's been a lot of challenges and a lot of changes.
Oh yeah, I mean,
which is important, I think. Not too much though. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely a big part of life. And yeah, if you're moving across the country, everything is going to change, pretty much. I mean, you're going to a whole other place, a whole other life. Everything's going to change. I mean, you think of the little things, obviously, with like your grocery store changing.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, and the route you go to places, and where you get your gas, and what your favorite breakfast place is. Those things all shift. And you don't think about those little things. Then there's obviously the big things of weather and distance and
your job.
Your job, of course. Just a lot of shifts. I would recommend it to anybody though, to do it.
You would?
I think so. I think it'd be hard not to. I mean, you're definitely gonna face your challenges, and we're probably not done with facing challenges from it, but
you always got to be ready for what's coming.
Yeah, you always got to be ready for what's coming, and if you don't allow things to come,
it gets all backed up.
Potentially, and then you got a diarrhea situation in your hands, or some constipation where you get a little stuck in something. You know, when people get stuck in the mud, you get stuck in the poop.
Yeah. Oh man.
Have you ever gotten like you know what I always feel like happens a lot? This is a little gross, but I feel like a lot of times when I'm on a road trip, I end up having fast food, and I end up having to really, really do a number on some gas station bathroom at some point.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
But road trip fast food is the best, because even if I know that you normally don't like getting fast food, but you kind of have no other option, really.
Really don't.
So you're kind of like, oh, I guess you got to get fast food, man.
Yeah, and if you get fast food, you might as well grab some Skittles at the gas station.
Yeah.
Some Skittles or some
pack
Twizzlers.
Of smokes, dude.
Dude, pack of Stogs. Dude. Sometimes, some of those drives home, I would drink like 2 40-ounce Bud Lights on the way back.
Yeah. And those guys outside the gas station could usually get you some cool stuff, too.
Yeah, they would get you some cool stuff. And like, I don't know, it was boring in that car by myself, so I had to do something.
Yeah, dude, you gotta do something to pass the time.
Yeah, so I would be blackout by the time I wasn't even out of the city limits. So I just forget the whole drive. I wouldn't even remember it.
It's like nice. Fast travel.
It's like fast travel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, like, I don't know. My car is pretty strong, so if there was any cars in front of me or something, I wouldn't have to worry. You just kind of get them out of the way.
You just keep going, man.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
And well, the nice thing too is that if a cop tried to pull me, I was asleep, right? So
you're absolved
now
of any liability.
Right, I'm absolved of all the liability. So they would just have to find somebody else that was awake.
Yeah.
So that was always my kind of method for doing the travel. But I guess I couldn't do that today after all that.
Why not?
Just the incident.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever stolen anything?
When I was a kid, yeah.
What did you steal?
I think I stole like some school supplies.
Mm.
I think I stole like trading cards.
You want to hear a classic case of mind your business, bitch?
Yeah.
This is a new segment called Mind Your Business, Bitch. So one time I was on a field trip at Busch Gardens. And Busch Gardens is like a theme park, dude.
Love it.
Love it. It's so much fun. Check it out if you're ever in Tampa. Busch Gardens and Adventure Island are right there. On like Fowler or Bruce B. Downs or something. Don't spend more time there than just go to Busch Gardens. And so they have a candy shop at Busch Gardens. You know those candy shops where you get candy and you weigh it out and you ring the bag up, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted one gummy worm. I didn't want to do.
I see where this is going.
So I just wanted the one gummy worm, and so I did a quick peek around, and the coast looked clear to me. So I take one. I take a gummy worm, red and blue, whatever that one is, and I go to eat it, and a woman grabs my arm. Stops me mid. I'm like,
Did she work there?
No, it's a random woman, and she goes, "Where is your God? What do they call the person who oversees like your group?"
Mom?
Yeah, well,
Chaperone?
she's like, "Where's your chaperone?"
Who says that?
Fucking any bitch who ain't minding her business.
Yeah, what a narc, dude.
Total narc. So she goes, "Excuse me," to the chaperone. This boy was taking a gummy worm, and even the chaperone was like, "Brandon, that's incredibly rude, I guess. Like, don't do that, and if you're gonna do it, just don't let anybody see you." And she's like, and then like even the mom, they're the woman who grabbed me was like, "That's it." She said that she was like, "That's it. There's no punishment." There's no punishment. That's only that's.
Dude, want to know what I would do if I was the teacher in that situation?
Yeah, what would you have said to her?
I would have been like, "Oh, you want to see a punishment?" And I would like pull a knife out or something.
Dude, exactly, dude. Cut her little.
And then just be like, "Is this what you wanted?" And then just, I don't even know, man.
It probably is what she wanted, dude. Fucking stupid. Anyways,
What an overreaction, dude. Imagine like, if I saw someone steal something like candy, there's not really anything you can do. I mean, you might as well just keep your mouth shut.
just keep your mouth shut, because really at the end of the day, how much did that gummy worm cost? I got, maybe it's the principle of it, and she was trying to teach me a lesson, but I got plenty of people in my life to teach me lessons, and you're not one of them.
Yeah, she's not God.
She's not God. She's nothing to me. That woman, I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
I hope you're listening, and if you're listening, I'll say this to your face too. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what you think. So you can sit out there being all restrictive of other people's gummy worms. That's fine. That's cool. Proud of you. Proud of you for fucking finding something you love to do.
Mind your own beeswax.
Mind your own beeswax. I'm pretty sure the teacher bought the gummy worm or some shit. Anyways.
Really?
Something like that. That wasn't the only time. I that was probably the only time I stole something from like an establishment. I also stole. There was like a.
What about like from a bank, like some money?
If they gave me more than I asked for, I would definitely keep it. Like if they gave me an extra like $4. They're like, here's $20, and there's like.
It's like banking error in your favor.
Yeah,
$4 is based on a real thing, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you think of Monopoly? It's a long game.
It's a fun game when you're a kid, but now as an adult, I realize that it's not really as fun.
I'm a little too frugal for Monopoly.
That's the wrong game to play if you're frugal, because then everyone else, you're gonna have to start spending money eventually, you know?
Yeah, shitty money
on rent.
And like
it's just like real life.
Yeah, they're like, you're here for a night, $1,000. I own fucking Broadway.
Just stopping by, $1,000, please.
Yep, and then you lose the game, and then everybody else plays for like 3 more hours.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, Were you guys just trying to get me to not be able to play? Because it seems like everybody was kind of targeting me.
That's the key, is to just push everybody out, man.
Yeah.
The real solution, I think, is to just go off the grid.
They should make like a communist version where everybody just gets the same thing and you just kind of play for an hour and then you just stop. Because you can't get more. You just pass the card around a few times.
And starve to death.
Starve to death. Start a war. Start another war. And get rid of the Jews, fortunately. You know, you gotta get credit where credit's due.
That's the future that Bernie wants for us, don't you think?
I think that Bernie... I think Bernie does a good job of having a message that is just progressive enough to be acceptable. That's my honest opinion.
Well, I think Andrew Yang's like progressive enough to be crazy, but I love it, dude. You know,
he's got some wild ideas.
Give me some free money, dog. Seriously.
Not if everybody saves it. We've talked about this.
I know, dude.
We've talked about the stipend. We've gone through the gauntlet with the stipend. We've said it all.
I want a stipend, man. I think someone should just give us a stipend. Just us two specifically. And then we could spend it on frozen pizzas.
Dude.
Frozen pizza stipend.
Do you want to talk about our day a little bit?
No, we didn't do anything.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not crazy about having not done anything 2 days in a row. But I kind of needed it just to take a weekend off. And I don't think that it should be frowned upon, especially considering that we've had a lot of company in town the past couple weeks. We've been doing things, and we're doing something on Tuesday night. So it's like you can't go out every night.
I get tuckered out from all the activities, man.
Yeah.
I require a lot of sleep.
Fortunately, I don't. God, I was tired last week.
Yeah.
I hate being tired.
Me too. It's the worst because then I just want to go to bed.
I hate being tired, except for the only thing I like about being tired is being tired and being able to go to sleep.
Oh yeah, that's such a treat, dude.
Such a treat.
It's
or
like,
being dirty and showering.
Give me that sleep.
Give me that sleep. Fucking and you're not like me. I can just the pillow's like
no, dude. I fall
accept
asleep
my head.
so easy. It's
Really?
just staying asleep. That's the problem.
That's how my dad is.
I
My
go
dad has
out
tough
like a flipping light, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Love
a real
it.
fortunate trait. I love that trait about myself.
Yeah, I could fall asleep anywhere, dude. I could fall asleep standing up.
Do you twitch when you fall asleep?
I usually watch YouTube.
All right, this is the Porchcast signing off.
Oh man,
You don't twitch?
I don't know, man. How am I supposed to know?
You never been told?
I snore. Apparently,
Yeah, you snore a little bit.
You snore too.
I snore a little bit. Yeah.
So
I have a stuffy nose all the time.
why don't you blow it?
Huh? That's what she said. I've tried. I just got it's just stuck up there. That's why I can't smell anything.
Oh man.
It's like you smell anything, it's like, no, dude, I can't even put air in there.
Yeah, just cut it off. You're not using it.
Yeah,
you know?
seriously. No, it's literally just for show, and it looks like trash. It's the worst part of. That's like one of my least favorite things.
Your nose?
Yeah, it's like God was like, all right, and how big is a normal nose, supposed to be on this face? And someone's like this big, and he was like, double it.
It's kind of ironic that you can't smell anything, don't you think?
I know, dude. It's like some kind of cruel joke.
How about we do a Porchcast where we both get a nose job? I always wanted to get a nose job.
Really? What would you do with it?
I want it to be so big that I can't even see anything anymore. So it's like taking up my whole face.
Dude, you'll be walking past people and they'll be like, "Did you see the schnoz on that guy?"
Yeah. I'd be like, I smelled that conversation.
Dude, I smelled that conversation for real. I mean, that's how I want ears like that, like elephant ears that I can just hear. They're like, "What can you hear?" And it's like everything.
Yeah.
I can hear everything.
Totally.
That's what I want. That's my future.
Oh man. Yeah.
I want to shoot a machine gun.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I told you I wanted to do the Porchcast where we try out for the Navy, right? Try to get in the Navy.
Yeah. How far would you be willing to go?
Not far.
I would infiltrate.
Probably wouldn't even fill out an application, to be honest with you. But oh no, I wouldn't cut my hair either. That's a huge deterrent.
Yeah. If I got far enough along in the Navy process that they had to interview you, would you put in a good word?
I would just sabotage you.
Really?
I'd be like, yeah, Brandon, he could pass a normal psychological evaluation, but he's deep down, he's a real violent maniac. That's probably what they're looking for, though, don't you think?
Yeah. If I was ever talking to that interviewer, I'd be like, yeah, I've seen Christian eat babies, and I'm the only one. He doesn't even know I know. He doesn't even know that I saw him do it. He's doing it on his own. I'm actually glad you're here. I'm glad
Dude, but it's crazy because I would totally lie on your behalf. Like I would treat it like a real job interview.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. Like
Just
a real
tell them whatever they want to hear.
Did Brandon ever, show any signs of violence? No.
It's like, what would you prefer?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Only in times of there was like Iraqis once.
Yeah.
And they attacked, and that was the only time that he showed violence.
Yeah.
And it was focused violence and clean violence. I could never be in the military, dude.
Yeah, it sounds so. I've heard it's pretty boring, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
And they probably make you wake up really early and cut your hair. It's just.
Yep, they yell at you. It's like a fraternity, dude. They haze you, I feel like.
Oh, for sure.
But thank you to them all, obviously.
What?
Thank you for the ones that do it, obviously.
Hazing?
No, to the troops that do it. Thank you for being there and being troops, of course. But at the same time, no way, Jose. Not for me. Not for this guy. I couldn't even join a fraternity, let alone the fraternity.
Well, those are two totally different things.
I don't think so.
I don't think you would. I mean, it's probably similar demographics, but it's different things because a fraternity is like a social group. The military, that's like your job.
Well, that's definitely true.
You know?
That's definitely true. I guess I meant like the culture and sort of what you have to go through to.
There's probably similar guys in each one.
There's gotta be, but there's frat guys everywhere. Not that I dislike frat guys at all, as a general blanket term. All right, let's take a quick break. Get some commercials flowing. Quick thank you to our sponsors. Quick potty break, and then we'll be back to it. This is the Porchcast.
Welcome back to America's Storytime, the Porchcast. I'm Brandon, and I'm here with Christian. Christian, tell me a little bit about your latest story.
What if I talked like that all the time?
That would be great, dude.
Yeah, that'd probably be great podcasting. They're probably like, this guy just has a voice for podcasting.
He's got it.
We've heard of single threats. We've heard of double threats. We haven't heard of triple threats. But quadruple threats? The one and only
Brandon.
Oh, man. Woo!
So, I want to talk about the hurricane a little bit.
Totally.
So there is a Hurricane Dorian, at the time of recording this podcast, heading towards the Bahamas, and eventually planning on making ground at Florida, where we have former. Let's just say we have former. We've done some business in Florida.
Done some beeswax.
Yeah, let's just say we've done some business in Florida. We have some connections to Florida. So we know a thing or two about hurricanes. And we've beaten them before. We've taken those hurricanes and we've just punched them in the nose.
We've dropped tactical nukes right in the eye of the hurricanes.
Right,
dude.
and it worked. It worked just like we expected.
Would expect, like any sane person would expect
Any
it
sane
to.
person would expect that to work. And tornadoes, very easy. Very easy. You shoot at them, and they fizzle out.
Yeah,
They fizzle
you
out.
gotta have the right ammunition though.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Would you ever go hunting?
Yeah, I have been hunting actually.
For what?
I went with Austin and his dad, but I just went with Austin's dad actually. We went hunting.
How was it?
It is interesting. I mean, I was very young at the time, but I would like somebody to invite me hunting. Honestly, somebody that already knows what they're doing, so that I could experience that, because I don't have anything against hunting, and I actually think it's an important thing to do, especially if you're not a vegetarian, just to experience what it's like to be in another animal's environment, and also to accept the burden of killing something and what that means.
You think you'd be able to?
I don't know. I think that if somebody, well, not necessarily, but I think that you should, I don't have a hard stance on this, but I think that you maybe should be prepared to kill an animal if you want to also eat it. But at the same time, I don't know if it's 100% necessary.
Well, I mean, the big difference for me, and I say this a lot when the topic of vegetarianism comes up, is there's a big difference between an actual wild animal and a manufactured wild animal. And I think that most of the animals that we eat today are manufactured wild animals.
You mean they're just raised in a farm? Or
they just would have never existed if we weren't eating them. They're artificially created, essentially. They're
they still have
business.
feelings and stuff, though.
They definitely still have feelings. They're definitely still animals, 100%, and it's still horrible. But it's different to me than killing an animal out in the wild that's only been in the wild and whose entire ancestry, for the most part, has only been in the wild to kill it.
Well, it's still part of that ecosystem, and it's still kill or be killed out there. So
definitely, and it could absolutely be killed. I get it. I get that part of it too.
And acting like you're not part of that food chain or ecosystem as well is not accurate, just because we think that we're not part of it.
It's an interesting point. It's interesting because if anything, we've isolated ourselves. We used to be, you would think, ingrained. We used to be that. Chances are, we used to be that. I mean, more primal, much more ingrained in ecosystems. Then we kind of just moved away and created our own ecosystems that we thought.
And
would
then you
sustain
just
us more.
forget.
Yeah, you forget.
But there's certain things I think that will tap you back into it.
Like what?
Certain types of music, I think. But there are other things. I think really aggressive music taps into your primal instincts. I think that exercising.
In a different sense?
What?
Getting disrespected? Or like somebody doing something that just like really feels disrespectful to you can really make you angry and brings out something.
Yeah.
And not even necessarily you and I, but just people in general.
Oh, of course. So, I mean, there are tons of examples of our animal instincts in just human behavior and stuff. But I was thinking more of like things that tap you into kind of like an animalistic or hunter-gatherer mindset specifically. So I think exercise does that too. And yeah, music too, especially. So
Interesting. Yeah, humans are aggressive, both passively and actively. We invented passive aggressive. You don't see.
You think so? I think
Cats
animals
can be kind of passive aggressive, but we probably taught them that. Apparently, like meowing is a like a human construct.
Really?
Like apparently, I read that cats started meowing to like lure humans in and make humans care for them.
That's strange. I've heard cats just talking to each other before. You ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, dude. One time at the apartment that we lived at in Tallahassee, Campus Park, one time I got home from work and it was probably like 4 a.m. And I was just sitting down on the couch or something. And I just heard all these really creepy noises right outside the window. And I got so scared. And then I like went outside and there was just several cats standing around in a circle just meowing at each other.
It's really scary.
I've never seen anything like it.
What do you think they were saying to each other?
Dude,
Just shooting the shit?
I don't know, man.
Just shooting the shit or plotting?
Well, normally I feel like when dogs bark at each other, I feel like they're not saying anything, you know? But it seemed like if they're like, hey, 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 that's what I feel like they're actually saying. I feel like these cats were having a conversation, though. It seems much more nuanced than just dogs barking at each other. But I feel like that's not... I don't know. Is that something that they do? Or...
Well, dolphins definitely do.
Oh, yeah. Dolphins will hang out and stuff.
Yeah. Dolphins are cool.
Yeah, man. I think that would be a fun animal to be.
Yeah. Dolphins are funny because they're like, oh, dude, humans, let's go see them. They're like the only animal in the world.
It's like, I work for money. That's what they say to each other.
Dude, yeah, they're definitely ribbing us for sure.
Yeah,
For
like,
other
what a beautiful day in the office.
Two-faced sons of bitches. They're down there making fun of our day jobs. Meanwhile, they're down there fucking
swimming around.
They're like, hey, come out here and breathe. Fucking, shit.
Try that out, yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You got a hole in your back, you idiot. I could just plug it and then you're dead.
Yeah.
You're a dolphin. You ever hear of mahi mahi, bitch?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I would never eat a dolphin. Have you heard that? That's like a rumor I've heard is that people like say, if you ever ask somebody what mahi mahi is, they're like, oh, it's kind of like dolphin.
What is mahi mahi?
It's a fish that you can get at the store, at the restaurant.
It's kind of like dolphin in what way? It's odd to explain. Are they comparing the flavor to dolphin?
No, I think they're comparing the animal to the dolphin.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense because if they're like, oh, the flavor, it's kind of like dolphin. Like,
yeah.
Dude, you can't use something as an example that is such an obscure flavor.
Dude, I saw something recently, and it was like, tastes like aardvark or something. And I was like, well...
Yeah.
What does that taste like?
You gotta be more specific, you know?
Yeah. Gator actually tastes like chicken.
Really?
Yeah, you want to know my theory behind that?
What?
So alligator tastes like chicken because alligators and chickens are both clear ancestors to dinosaurs. In different ways. They both went different directions with their dinosaur ancestry, but both do demonstrate a little bit of dinosaur.
Alligators, I feel like, haven't changed that much in forever.
They're probably more dragons than...
Well, no. I think they would just still be dinosaurs, right? But they're just kind of like an
They seem
alive
dinosaur-like.
version. Yeah, they're prehistoric.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And then chickens are a bird, but they still taste similar. Have you ever eaten gator?
No, I would eat it though.
You would?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. Would you eat a spider if like it was served at a restaurant?
I don't know. That sounds really, really scary though.
Yeah, dude. All legs, dude. Alive.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's some shit. You know what show is on Hulu that I would be down to watch? Is Fear Factor.
Oh man, love Fear Factor. Dude, we should do that sometime, but at the same time we shouldn't because there's too many shows to watch.
So our friends Ethan and Ela from the H3 podcast.
What are you talking about?
They're not our friends, but they watch a lot of Fear Factor. They're watching like all.
And
they're watching
you bring that up on our podcast. Why?
I actually see podcasters do that all the time.
Reference other podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's other podcasts out there. Like I get that we're the progressive ones, and we're kind of bringing the new things to the table and kind of
Breaking
pushing
new
the
ground.
boundaries.
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what a podcast even is. Like, I understand that, but you still have to like at least acknowledge that there's other podcasters trying to achieve that. I mean, they're not willing to
go outside onto the porch.
Right. Yeah, to adapt to what, because okay, people have been asking and asking. They're like, enough of these studio podcasts with great acoustics that eliminate the background noise of homeless people on the streets and passing trucks and sirens. Long are the days gone where we have appreciated those kinds of things. We need a podcast that is authentic in its delivery by taking place exactly where we hang out with our friends. And I think that authenticity is what's been lost on podcasting in this generation. I mean, you got the Joe Rogans with their big studios and their super PACs. Sick of it.
We won't accept any sponsorships from super PACs.
This will be the only independent. I don't know if I can do accents at all, because
Who is that supposed
that was
to be?
Arabic.
Who is that supposed to be?
I don't know. That was Obama.
Oh, you're doing Obama? You could do a good Obama, dude. You should try again. Redeem yourself.
I see, senor.
Oh my god, dude! Please don't play that back, because that was almost too much.
Huh? That was Eladio. That's our guest, Eladio. Thank you, Eladio, for stopping by.
Oh man,
Appreciate
this
that.
is a nightmare.
Yeah,
Even from my perspective.
time for some Me Too shit, right? You ever get scared with how famous you're getting? I heard somebody recently was talking about the whole Me Too thing.
Do you think that we might get Me Too'd?
I mean, as far as I know, I'm good.
Really?
I think so, yeah. As far as
You think you are, but then you're not.
Well, that's the thing. You have to wonder if something comes out about some of these people and they're like, I don't even remember that. Like, maybe it happened. I don't know.
Yeah. But for all intents and purposes, didn't happen, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the Louis C.K. thing's weird. Can't even imagine wanting to do that.
What? What he did?
Yeah. He jacked off in front of female comedians. Like, there's no doubt about it. So, that's really weird.
How do you figure out when you're into, like, something really weird, do you think? Like, do you see it?
It's probably just an itch that just, it will not stop itching until you scratch it. And then you scratch it once, and that relief and that sensation just, you got to keep getting more of it. You get addicted.
Yeah, that's how I feel about potato chips.
Yeah, because you know they're bad for you.
I think they're good for you. In the sense that
I'm sure
they
Louis
taste
C.K.
good.
thought what he was doing was good for him, and it was. He's funny. He still is. I hope that he doesn't get less funny, because if he gets less funny, some girls better be looking at his dick pretty soon.
You think so?
Yeah. If somebody takes someone for the team, I'll look at it for a second.
Really?
We get some good jokes.
What do you think? Do you think it looks funny?
It's probably super normal. Probably like a nose, like a weird looking nose, like Squidward's nose. It's probably what we could expect. Just a normal slong.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, why? You think it's little?
I don't know what to think, man. In fact, I haven't thought about it at all.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it till now. But
Yeah,
now my thoughts are
especially
just
not.
racing.
Yeah, especially
Now I'm just
not.
thinking through it all, dude. Where are the veins? How girthy we talking?
Oh, no.
How many testicles do you think he has?
At least one.
You can't confirm that.
Yeah.
And you can't confirm that he has less than 3.
Fewer.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
What if that happened? What if, like, every time you, like, took a big shit, one of your balls mitosis? So you had to, like, manage manage that. Because if you get too many balls, then you got to start over.
You got yourself a ball pit.
It's like, dude, it's been rough. The last couple weeks I've had 32 balls. It's been really, really weighing me down. There's that authentic noise. I wonder if that's audible on here.
People are dropping like flies out here, man.
I know. Yeah, this is like the third alarm truck we've heard.
Alarm truck. They're like ruckus mobiles.
Dude, I can't. Like, I'm wondering if the guy that's driving those, like, that's got to be a really interesting job. It's like, what do you do? It's like, oh, I just drive around and I'm like, go away!
Yeah, it's like beep beep, beep.
I'm coming.
Beep.
Get out of the way. It's too much. It's too much. We're all moving. We're all aside. Go in peace.
Yeah, they think
Gotta
they're
be
all
scary.
that.
They do think they're all that. I loved all that. What a great show. I wish we could find a way to watch that.
Really?
That or Keenan and Kel.
Oof, love Keenan and Kel.
I like all that more though. I love because sketch comedy would be really
That was our
easy
first
to go back to.
sketch comedy show that we watched, probably.
It probably was. That was probably before Whitest Kids You Know. Shout out to those guys.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
friends over at Whitest Kids.
Dude, it's crazy because like our egos are already so large, you know.
Right. Do you mean ours is in you and me, or ours is in human beings?
Just us two.
Yeah. I don't have a huge ego. Just about my nose, I'm not, and then everything else I'm good with.
Yeah. But
What's your favorite finger?
I mean the thumb is like most utility for sure.
Yeah, it definitely adds a lot of value.
It's like a lot more postable.
What about your Pluto finger?
Which one?
Your Pluto finger?
What that means?
Probably your pinky finger.
Oh,
It's like
you don't need that one.
you don't need that one.
Yeah.
You don't need that one.
That's just extra.
Really, you could almost get away with your index finger, your ring finger, and your thumb.
Dude, have you seen, bro, we gotta watch the Batman with Danny DeVito. He plays the Penguin. And He's
Yeah.
got like flippers for hands. Dude, that movie is so good.
Really?
Oh yeah, Danny DeVito was born to play that role.
That's
'Cause
crazy.
he already looks like a penguin.
Yeah, he does a little bit. Is he a little goofy in it too?
Oh, you wouldn't even believe it.
Nice.
Dude, those movies are good, man. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'd like to watch both of them. There's too many movies to
I
watch.
think there's like 3 of them.
I
I don't know.
I feel like this is kind of like what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had.
What?
Who's your favorite teenage? I don't know them all, so I wouldn't even know.
Dude.
Like kind of 3 fingers. They love their pizza.
Yeah, I think that they're really good role models because they know how to have a good time too, you know, which I think is important. And
You
is
think you
lost
learned
on-
a lot from them?
I think about the importance of like friendship and eating pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would we have done without them?
I don't know, man. Not seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Green Ooze. That's for sure.
Little too rough.
Yeah. What a great little piece of cinema.
You know what is one of the things in this world that just really transfixes me?
Is that a word?
Transfixes?
Yeah.
I think so.
kind of know what you
Makes
meant.
me transfixed. Is fires.
Oh, yeah.
I just stare at them.
Yeah, like there's something in there, you know?
Yeah, there's and I can never find it, but there's something in there that I have to find. And I just stare and stare and stare and just think about it, and I feel the heat on my face, and I'm like, ow. but I stay. Always do I stay.
It's good stuff because it's good because they heat you up too. You know?
Yeah, they do when it's cold outside and when it's hot outside.
Yeah.
I guess.
It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter. They always
It
do.
doesn't discriminate.
Mm-mm. No, it does not. Do you think that if you had to live in the fridge for a week, you'd be okay afterwards?
Well, how much food is in there,
A
dog?
lot, yeah.
Oh, you know,
It's a little tight. It's a good sized fridge, but I don't care about your answer. I just wanted to say that.
oh man.
So, do you want to do a BuzzFeed quiz?
No, do you?
Yeah, let's do a BuzzFeed quiz.
Okay.
You can conduct it and ask me the questions this time. Because last time I think I asked you all the questions, and it wasn't very good. So we'll still decide together on a quiz, and then I'll pass this over to you.
Are you saying that I wasn't a good test subject, or
No,
what are you
I think
implying?
you have to just kind of take the quiz that's offered to you.
Well, I think that by asking questions, I'm turning it into more than just the quiz, you know?
What do you mean?
I'm trying to turn it into a dialogue, you know?
Yeah, no. I definitely get that. My only thing is I'm saying that the quiz we took last time maybe wasn't the best quiz.
The McDonald's one?
Yeah.
Mm. Well, what's on the
right.
menu tonight?
So this one says that they're gonna know if I'm an introvert or an extrovert based on what I order at a restaurant. How many questions is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, there's a bunch of questions. All right, here you go. So the quiz at hand is that BuzzFeed is gonna know if I'm an introvert or an extrovert based on what I order at a restaurant. There's several questions. We're going to go through multiple courses, it looks like, and it looks like we'll go through even some intangibles of the process. Christian, can you make sure that the Audacity is still recording?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's do it.
All right. So these are just, they give you options, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's going to be multiple
Okay.
choice.
I thought it was going to be... okay. Choose a starter. You get a bruschetta, which is like some piece of toast with some, looks like cheese and sun-dried tomatoes.
And don't show me, but is it looking good? Good bruschetta?
It looks pretty good.
Okay. Fresh?
There's it's very fresh, dude. I could smell the dirt.
Yeah.
All right, mushrooms.
Okay.
It's a big bowl full of mushrooms and some green stuff.
Okay.
Charcuterie board.
Okay.
Oh my god, dude, it's beautiful. It looks like something out of the Bible.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, I get it.
And then there's the calamar.
I'll do the calamari.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you would call the recency bias in cognitive psychology.
That is not true. If there's calamari on the menu, I want to hear yesterday.
All right, order a drink.
Okay.
We got a glass of red wine,
Okay.
a lemonade with a mint sprig in it,
Okay.
some champagne,
Mm-hmm.
panya, and some water in a mason jar.
Give me some of that RW.
Okay, very biblical. Now pick your main course.
Okay.
You got a steak.
Mm.
Looks like it's got some potatoes on it. With
Yeah. How's it cooked?
It looks well done.
Awesome. I figure.
Image.
Yeah, that's the second most common ordering style.
Very disturbing. All right, and then we got some pasta
Mm-hmm.
in a very fancy arrangement.
Yummy. What kind of sauce?
Red.
Okay.
And then we got some sushi. It's just sushi.
Yep.
And then we got pizza. And the cheese is, they're lifting up the pizza, and the cheese is coming off of the plate. But
Give
it's
me a
not
little bit of
really-
wine and a little bit of pizza.
Wine and pizza. All right.
Going to Italian.
Oh wait, dude,
Italian
I haven't
dinner.
actually been selecting the options, so we're gonna have to backtrack.
Quick backtrack.
All right, we got the calamari. We got red wine. We got the pizza. What about soup? Yes,
I'll take
please?
some soup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Now pick a side.
Okay.
We got a salad with some spinach, it looks like.
Yum.
Some cherry tomatoes. It looks like some feta.
Yeah.
And some.
That's how I would make my salad too.
And then French fries, boiled vegetables, or mashed potatoes.
Yeah, give me that salad.
Okay.
This sounds like this is shaping up to be a pretty decent dinner.
Yeah. We could pick a dessert now. We got a panna cotta.
Okay. What's that?
It's a glass and it's full of some stuff.
Okay.
And then we got cheesecake,
Yum.
and we got tiramisu. Or you can pass.
No, I'll have a little bit of cheesecake. Just a couple bites. I'll need something to split it with me, but
Okay.
I'll have a couple bites.
Now we need one final drink before you pay the bill.
Oh.
Latte, tea, espresso, or you're full.
No, give me an espresso.
Okay.
I'll do an espresso. I'm paying?
Who's paying?
What are my options?
My date, we're splitting it. I came by myself. I'm paying.
I guess I'm paying.
All right. Tip? 10%? 20%? 30%? No tip.
Yeah, no tip for sure. No, 20%.
Okay. Extrovert. Bubbly, adventurous, and someone who gets their energy from being surrounded by others. You're an extrovert. Well done.
So I passed?
Well,
The test seems to imply that passing the test is to be an extrovert and failing the test
You think so?
is to be an introvert. Well, based on the commentary,
How do you figure? It could say something nice for introverts too.
it could. What do you think drove that? Probably me paying. Because if I said I came by myself, it's almost certainly that
Yeah.
I'm getting
It's all too familiar, you know?
the introvert award. Yeah. What do you think the top story on the news is going to be?
Someone probably got shot.
I'm pretty sure that's still what they're talking about. There's a shooting in. So the top story right now, the latest story, the most up-to-date news. Electric bikes may soon be humming along national park trails. Oh, Kevin Hart. This is breaking news. Kevin Hart suffers major back injuries after a car crash. A little after 2 a.m. last night, or 1 a.m. He wasn't driving. His driver was driving, and his driver was not drinking, according to reports. What do you think of that?
I hope that he's okay,
Yeah.
but I am about as concerned as I would be for any other stranger who got in a car accident.
Stranger? That person you've never heard of before?
Well, person I've never met or have no relationship with whatsoever.
He was pretty funny when we went and saw him at the school.
Yeah, but there are many other comedians that I prefer, you know?
So, top three.
I like Dave Chappelle is probably my favorite. Then I like George Carlin a lot. And Dimitri Martin is way up there too, for sure. What about you?
I don't think I have a very good list. Bo Burnham's up there for me, for sure. Just because I really like what he did.
I have a lot of respect for Bo Burnham too, especially Make Happy. I thought that was excellent, and just the amount of work that he puts into his stuff obviously is very admirable.
Tom Segura is hysterical, and Secret Time for Burt Kreischer was a really good special. I like that group a lot. I love Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer.
Yeah, I think comedy is interesting, like style of entertainment where people could have such different tastes, you know?
Oh my god!
Because there's so many different styles of comedy where there's certain people that are so popular, but I don't find funny at all.
That's what's hard. Yeah, like Jim Gaffigan's very funny, and I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, and the stuff that I have seen, I haven't been super stoked about. And he's blown up. He's like one of the most highly paid comedians in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's old stuff was way better than what he's doing now. He's just not as funny.
Yeah, and I think that it's the same with music, where if I don't like something and I feel like it's not, there's certain things I feel like there's nothing to it, and I just like really dislike it. But for a lot of stuff, I can just tell that there's something to it, but it's just not my taste, you know?
Yeah.
So.
It's hard to cater to everybody. It's
Yeah.
damn near impossible.
Oh, well, yeah, that's impossible. But, I mean, there's definitely ways to get large groups of people.
Yeah.
So.
Be agreeable to most people.
Yeah, there's definitely ways to be agreeable. And I like the stuff that's not as agreeable sometimes. You know, I like the naughty comedy. I think it's funny.
Do you want to rant about something?
Do I want to rant about something?
Yeah.
I haven't been that angry today.
That's good.
What about you?
No, I really not that angry. I think that I really don't have anything to rant about today. It's probably because I haven't seen anything today.
Yeah, we haven't done anything.
Yeah, we definitely.
It's hard to be angry. We can get mad at ourselves.
That's the only thing I'd be mad at, but I kind of took an off day, and I'm okay with that. I think that off days are.
Oh, you know what I wanted to say?
Yeah.
The guy from The Mask, like the bad guy, his name was Dorian, which is the name of the hurricane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I can't really take the hurricane seriously because The Mask is such a silly movie.
It really is a silly movie. Jim Carrey's a silly guy. You really still got to watch that documentary.
Dude, I think I might have seen it.
Where he's Andy Kaufman.
Then no. But I love Jim Carrey's work in general.
You would love this documentary, dude. I think it was Andy Kaufman. He plays him in this movie called Man on the Moon or something. And so they did like a documentary about the making of. But Jim Carrey was so into character, dude. He was Andy Kaufman on set at all times. He would go by Andy. That's what you had to call him. He would drive people insane. He almost got fired multiple times. He was an absolute terror because Andy Kaufman was a terror. So he was a terror to be around, just wreaking havoc on the set. And they have all this behind-the-scenes footage of it. So it's this behind-the-scenes footage and kind of talking about the movie while Jim Carrey's talking about it in real time. And Jim Carrey is pretty... He's a damaged soul. He's extremely lost. So, but he's very, very, very exploratory in finding purpose. So he talks a lot about everything. To hear his perspective is really interesting. He's just gone through a lot.
I'd check that out.
Yeah, it's
dude, we should
insane.
watch also on the subject the documentary that Joaquin Phoenix made.
Oh, I know, dude. I know, especially with his movie coming out.
Yeah, man.
We gotta.
And the people have been saying
study.
that's pretty good.
I've heard amazing things so far.
So
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
It's fucked up though. I heard.
That's okay. I can handle a little craziness.
A little craziness from time to time.
Oh yeah.
Are there any other segments you want to close out the show with?
I just wanted to make that comment about the hurricane.
Yeah, that's a huge. I'm glad we know that now. I think we needed that. But really and truly, thoughts and prayers are with Florida and with the Bahamas for sure. I think they're going to get hit pretty hard. All memes aside, and I hope Florida can push that thing out because you never know with natural disasters. They can be scary sometimes, and they can do some crazy shit. So. If you're in Florida, you will be hearing this podcast potentially after the hurricane or around the time of the hurricane. Tomorrow's Labor Day. So thank you to everybody who works hard. Keep on fighting the good fight. And for those of you who don't work too hard, keep it up. Keep it up. We're in a good
working
place
hard are hardly working.
Yeah. Everybody just keep doing what you're doing. Let's just stay the course.
Keep turning the wheels of the capitalist machine.
Or don't. Or work somewhere else. Or go to a different country. Just do what you want to do.
Or just
follow your dreams.
kill yourself.
Or kill.
No?
No, that's the only thing you shouldn't do is kill yourself. And not until you've done everything that you could possibly think that you could want to do. If there's anything left that you could possibly want to do, you should probably knock those couple things out. And then just get jumping.
Whee!
But you'll never accomplish everything or do everything or try everything that you want to. So just keep chasing that and keep chasing that one feeling you got once.
Yeah.
Keep chasing that, and maybe one day you'll get it. Probably not. But we want to make sure we keep it upbeat here. So I'm glad we got to say all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't kill yourself until you've done everything. Get on jumping when you need to. It's pretty easy. Pretty easy. It's way easy. Don't kill yourself. That was a joke. I know our jokes seem pretty vague around here, but thank you one more time to Tiki Torches, and thank you to you guys for listening, for listening to us talk about God knows what, all this way. We couldn't do it without you guys. We'll keep the content coming,
or not.
Yeah, there could just be a day where you listen to episode whatever, and that's the last episode, and then maybe we'll reconvene in a year and say we're going to start making weekly episodes, and we don't make an episode after that. That's probably it's a good outcome. I really whatever happened to that podcast you guys were doing? It's it
just got so cold outside.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll have to get a heat lamp for that, or something that provide us with warmth.
Fire.
Yeah, fire, whiskey.
Heroin.
Mm-hmm. Just the normal stuff that we already have out here in the warmth.
Already got pumping through our veins, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty much 70% heroin, 30% water,
9% SpongeBob memes.
Yep. I'm all right. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna head out. This has been the Porchcast. We'll talk to you next time.